The biggest mistake I made in my business was not hiring a professional to help me with my money. Not just my taxes, but the actual plan I had for my business. I was completely lost on how to handle taxes, what to do with profit, and how to maintain my income. I had to find a better way. That's when I found Core Financial. Core Financial is a team of tax professionals that actually care about building real relationships with their clients. They run my books, keep me up to date with my finances, and make sure I'm taking full advantage of all of my tax benefits. Are you struggling with your finances? Look no further. Core Financial is a brand that is nationwide that can help you with your business. Both Nick and I are huge fans of Core, and they can help you too. Check out howtofilmweddings.com/core to schedule a consultation today. Core Financial, real relationships, no surprises. It seems like there are new cameras and equipment coming out all the time. It gets incredibly confusing and the FOMO is real. Nick and I have been preaching for years that the best way to try out new gear is to rent before you buy. And there is only one place we recommend when it comes to renting, and that is our friends over at Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals is the premier source for renting not only camera equipment, but lenses, drones, projectors, and more. Have a big project coming up and you need to really wow your couple? Wanting to test out the newest camera before you drop thousands on it? You need Lens Rentals. My favorite thing is that if I love something I rent, I can keep it. They apply a portion of the rental fee to the purchase price, and with a few simple clicks, that gear is mine. Check out the latest promo codes and promotions at howtofilmweddings.com/Lens Rentals. Lens Rentals, the only place we recommend renting.
Hello and welcome to the How to Film Weddings podcast. My name is Nick Miller, and today I am joined by the most special guest I have ever talked to my entire life, Mr. John Bunn. John, how are you today?
I thought you were going to say one of our guests. I thought you were teeing me up to get excited, and then you were going to, knock that down since I'm a words of affirmation kind of guy. You asked me how I'm doing.
I love spending time with you.
I love spending time with you too, my friend. I'm doing well. As we are recording this, I have a wedding in a few days, and then October is kind of done for me, which is good.
And the month of October is done pretty much too.
Yeah, pretty much, which is great. It has been an incredible busy month for us, but Nick, I am most excited about how you're doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. I just got done with 4 in a row, which this entire year, wedding wise, we've had at least one weekend between weddings the entire year. Mm-hmm. And I ended up with 4 in a row. And 2 of them one was in Savannah, Georgia. One of them was in Charleston, South Carolina. So it was like long distance flights, travel, all that kind of stuff. But I got a couple weeks off. We only have one more wedding left for 2021. 2022 is shaping up very, very nice. I want to do 15 total weddings. We got 13 on the books. And prices are at a good spot. I'm at a good spot.
Raise your prices.
They have been raised. They are raised. So we are really, really doing good. But John, there's some other things that you and I are very excited about.
Can I tell the listeners what we're doing? I don't know if they've been under a rock, but in a couple of short weeks, we are opening back up our Complete Wedding Videography Course. Nick, this is the full blueprint. This is 30 plus hours at this point of content. That next level stuff that's going to take you to the next level in your business shooting and editing, 3 modules plus every digital template that's in our shop,
including our brand new pricing guides.
All 3 of them. Just all those are questionnaires. You can get all 3 of those. There's so much stuff in this course. A lot of it.
And one thing that I wanted to share, if you go to CompleteWeddingVideography.com right this moment, like right now, okay, you can get not 1, but 2 free sections of our course. One of them is all about consultations, and that will change your business today. Another one is behind the scenes video. I think it was a wedding you shot in Tulsa, right?
Oklahoma City, but yes, close.
Oklahoma City. It was in Oklahoma. Okay. A wedding that you shot there, so you can follow John on that. And we have included our wedding day questionnaire. Is that right? Yep. For free, if you sign up for a free section at CompleteWeddingVideography.com, you can get all of that for free today, right now. And one of the things, as we were talking about this course and this launch and stuff, we wanted to give some of our students an opportunity to give some honest feedback from the course, from their experience. And we have Kailina from Roots and Wings Films, right? And Aaron from Two Arrow Films come on the podcast today and just talk about their experience with it. Kailina has a really, really cool story with her experience from the course, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She is killing it in her business. She's doubled her prices since having the course. We talk all about that. And this is not an episode that we're just like pumping. Yes, we're promoting our course because we think it can change your life, but even if it's something that you've already purchased or that you're not interested in, there are some nuggets in here of just talking about investing in you and your business. There's inspiration in this episode. It's a different take. We really just wanted to bring people on that have experienced it and let them talk about it, to see if it's something that you might be interested in, because we know on the other side of investing into you, whether it's in our course or someone else's course or books or whatever it is, there is going to be success. We have so many success stories with the Complete Wedding Video course that now we can start to actually put people behind the mic as well in front of the camera for you. We even, give you the info if you want to reach out to them or if you have questions. It's all inside this episode. So Nick, if you're okay with it, anything else you want to add?
Nope. Let's jump in.
He's good. All right, let's go. All right. Well, welcome Kailina Erickson to the How to Film Weddings podcast. You have arrived. Say hello. Introduce yourself to the How to Film Weddings community.
Hi, my name is Kailina. I am a wedding filmmaker here in Colorado. I just turned 30 years old, and I have one little boy here at home who's 2.5, and a husband. And yeah, that's pretty much about me. I run Roots and Wings Films. I just rebranded from Roots and Wings Productions over to Roots and Wings Films, and this will be going into my 5th year once we hit 2022.
Incredible. And full disclosure, Kailina is one of our Complete Wedding Video students. We've been talking a lot about that. And Nick and I were kind of talking through and saying we should bring some people on that have been a part of the course, that have been in our community for a while, and just have an open conversation about their experience, hear from them. So I really just wanted to kind of jump in and say, you said you're in your 5th year with your business starting next year. Where were you at whenever you were heard about the Complete Wedding Video course? Were you already part of the How to Film Weddings group? Kind of what life looked like for you at that point with where you were in your business, all that kind of stuff?
So, not going to lie, I had only been part of the How to Film Weddings group for maybe like 2 or 3 months. A fellow filmmaker actually sent me an invite to the Facebook page, which led to me listening to the podcast like on binge, literally all day long, like as I was just doing household chores, editing, like anything. I literally had the podcast running, and just the information that was in there was mind-blowing to me. And I started to change a few things in my business. So when you guys launched the course, it was like a no-brainer for me. Like, if I learned this much from 2 months just listening to the podcast, what on earth am I going to learn out of 3 modules where you guys are mentoring in this course? And so at that point in my business, I was honestly just taking anybody that inquired that I did like a quick little meetup or a phone call with. I was just letting them book, going through the motions, maybe touching base like the month of the wedding or a couple weeks before the wedding, showing up to the wedding, filming it, delivering their film about 8 to 10 weeks later. And that was about the role of how things were going.
Yeah. Well, and you're someone that was very interesting to at least John and I, because you like purchased the course like I want to say like the day that it went on sale, like instantly, and you started going through it, and you actually saw results from the stuff that we talked about like that week. Like I remember you going on to like, guys, you need to buy this because I went from this to this in 1 week. Why don't you kind of talk about that experience, some of the stuff that you learned and how you implemented that like instantly and how it drastically changed your business from the beginning?
Yeah, so as soon as it went live, I bought it. I actually think I was like awake that night when it went live, and I bought it, and then the next day I just dove right into it. And the first module, mainly about business, I just immediately started implementing some things because there was a lot of stuff that really stood out to me, especially just when it came to like consultations and pricing and that entire process that I was like, why am I not doing this? Like, this is such a better way to be doing this. How did I not know this the last couple, like 2 years? And so I just started implementing stuff. I immediately changed like my consultations, and I reached out to all of my current couples and was like, hey, let's jump on a phone call, just because I wanted to change up that experience. And one of the couples that actually, I think they inquired like 2 or 3 days after I bought the course. So I sent them my new pricing that I had changed just off of that first module. And I ended up jumping on a call with them, and they ended up literally going with what was my highest package at that time, just because I took the time to like educate them and go over what they needed for their day. And at that point in time, that was my highest package I'd ever booked. And so I literally made what the course cost within the first week, just based off of what I implemented from the first module.
I remember that too, Nick. When we put the course out, this course is the handbook that we've built our businesses on. It's business, shooting, editing, it's everything. And I remember doing that business section, recording it with Nick. I mean, we recorded this in Wichita over like a week of time.
It was so fun.
We rented an Airbnb. It was a ton of fun. We couldn't have the air conditioner on, so it was just warm, and like we were getting on each other's nerves. But like the business section, I remember Blake, our editor, just being like, guys, this is so good. Like, that was the first thing we recorded. He was like, this is going to help out so many people if they'll just apply it. And that's what we've seen now hundreds of times. We've released this course for enrollment. This is now our 4th time. We do it 1 week at a time, twice a year. And this is coming up in a couple of weeks. And so whenever you purchase the course, we were like, well, we hope people like get results out of this. And then I think it was a couple of days in, you were just like, guys, I just picked my biggest package. I literally just changed this thing. The course is already paid for itself. And then more and more people started jumping in and saying the same thing again and again. And so I guess any feedback on, now that like you've been a part of it, is this something that you've watched it once, it's kind of not done anything since? Have like maybe tell your experience on like the new stuff we're adding, how it's been for you. Like, do you go back to it? Just kind of your favorite parts or any feedback for people maybe considering it.
Yeah, so I have definitely rewatched stuff over and over. I think last year threw kind of everybody for a loop. There was just so many reschedules and so much craziness that when we dove into 2021, I just wanted to refresh on everything because it felt like I hadn't shot nearly as much as I wanted to because of everything. And so when I first got the course, I went through it all. And then at the beginning of this year, I went through it again. And there has actually been several times that I've gone back in and just clicked on different lessons just to kind of like refresh myself on a few things. I did a rebrand earlier this year, and so I definitely was just re-pulling up and making sure that I had all my bases covered when I was going through it. But then, like you mentioned as well, as you guys have added stuff on, as you guys continue to grow and stuff, that's all in there. And so it's really neat that like you pay for it in the beginning, but there's stuff that's been added on and it keeps growing. Even just like the consultation calls that you guys have added of you guys talking to clients and stuff like that has been super duper helpful. But for me, just sitting and going through the 3 modules, like so much has changed within my business. And it's not just because like you guys are like, do this, do that. You get to sit and you get to feel like you're being mentored by both of you who you both implement different things into your businesses. So you get to take away from that and sit down and go, okay, this is what's going to work for me. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Like, yeah, that's something I'll do, something I don't do. You get to take both of what you guys have to say, implement it into your business. And it's been a complete game changer for me on multiple levels. From branding to pricing to how I actually film a wedding day, the planning that leads up to that. I just feel like my clients have a completely different experience than they did before. I get to know them better. And because I'm filming differently, I feel like editing is different and the going into the storytelling is different.
Yeah.
And that's been one of my absolute favorite things.
She said one thing, and I want to, this is something that we have continued to do. And this is, when Nick and I started the idea of the Complete Wedding Video course, it was like, well, we're going to have to, remake this course every couple of years. And it was like, no, we recorded it in such a way that this is, your handbook to get you to being, a 6-figure wedding filmmaker and beyond. with the basics of the shooting, the editing, the business, some deeper level stuff when it comes to selling and things like that. But as Nick and I continue to grow in our businesses, like even just this week, a couple of days ago, I booked, and I posted it in the Facebook group, but booked a pretty large package just straight off the bat with a mom. And I recorded the Zoom call, and like, hey everybody, bonus, there's a Zoom call, so there's continually new things. When we just released our pricing guides this last month, we put all of those in the course for everybody to have that's part of this course. And so as we continue to grow and do new things, the benefit of being a member, and so like you've got to be since the beginning, so all the new things that we keep adding, the YouTube stuff and all that kind of stuff has been, I'm hoping, continually worth it, and not to mention the online community that we have too.
Yeah. So, as we're getting ready to, just in a few weeks, we're going to relaunch this, as John said, for the fourth time, opening up for enrollment for, more people that might be interested in this. And I know there's a lot of people right now that are kind of on the fence and like thinking about it, if they've been, part of the How to Film Weddings community, for, the last couple of years, they've seen this every now and then, and they may be kind of wishy-washy or on the fence about it. So what's some advice, or what are some things that you would share with them about people that are, on the fence, considering, purchasing the course? What would you say to them?
I would say do it, first of all. Unless you've been, unless you're like John or Nick, who already has that ideal client, has your branding nailed down, has all that, I don't think it would be so much beneficial. But for me, when I bought it, I was 2.5 years in. And some of the business stuff, I was like, where was this 2 years ago? This would have saved me so much time. But then there was stuff that just completely changed how I was doing stuff. And so even already doing it for 2 years, I still learned so much, but there was so much knowledge that I wish I would have had right when I got started. So if you're just getting into filmmaking, there's no question at all. Like this is a tool that you need. It's investing in yourself, it's investing in your brand. And after having it for a little bit of time, it's more than going to pay for itself, dozens and dozens of times as time goes on. But if you have been doing filmmaking for a little while, there's still so much that you can implement. And like I said, my biggest thing is like my client relationship and just how I handle all of that it's a complete 360. Like there's nothing that I do the same with that. And so there's just so much knowledge in there that you can continue, like we were saying, you guys can go back in and watch stuff and continue to apply stuff to your business as it goes on. But I just feel like this entire course, it really just sets you and your brand, your business, and your clients up for success. And I also feel like it just, after going through the whole thing, it sets a standard that I feel like every wedding filmmaker should set for their business. And that as like an industry in whole, we should really bring ourselves to that level and set that standard as an industry overall.
Before, I wanted to ask you this too. We talked about kind of where you were at before the course. It's been almost 2 years of you having the course at this point, 1 year and 9 months, something like that. Where are you at now? Like what were you charging? What was that looking like then? And then kind of where are you at now? Where are you at with the confidence in your brand? All that.
So when I first found the How to Film Wedding group, my most expensive package was $3,000. That was 12 hours of coverage with 2 videographers, and it included everything, like a doc edit, a feature film, a toast film, yeah. Anyway, and so after doing that and going through the course and just kind of like you guys give some pricing examples in there of what to do, I immediately set my highest package at $4,000 for 10 hours with 1 shooter with a highlight film, a ceremony film, and a toast film. And then below that, I did an 8-hour package and a 6-hour package. Just for like here in Colorado, we get a lot of like adventure elopements type things that don't need full days. And so I set that at $4,000, and that was actually the one that I booked the week of the meeting. And so then I started kind of doing more kind of like a la carte add-on options to where all my packages were just a highlight film and a ceremony film, because I just felt that that was really important to give couples, and everything else was an add-on. And so since doing that, I can't really say much for last year just because of everything that went on, but this year I almost hit 6 figures. And that was insane to me because the year I was so close. I was at 97. So I was like,
can I say that's incredible? And you're in year 4, getting ready to go into year 5, correct? Yeah. I didn't hit 6 figures until year 7. Like I was 7 years in before I hit that number. And here you are in year 4 and you're like so close to doing that. That is so incredible. That is so incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. And like the year before I bought the course, I think I came in at like 45, I think it was, which was still more than what I was making when I quit to do filmmaking full time. So it was still a win, but just seeing what I could do with my business after changing how I was running things, I just really feel like I gave myself more freedom because I wasn't sitting editing for 300-400 hours after working for 12 hours at a wedding for $3,000. Like it just I didn't really have anybody that mentored me as I was getting into the industry at all. So I was just doing what I thought was fair and what I was worth. And I feel like the course kind of showed me a much better way to do it and still like taking care of your clients and educating them with what they want. Because not every film option is important to every single couple. So that's been amazing. And right now I actually booked a wedding this morning. So I'm 70% booked for next year.
Come on.
My plan is to take on 20 weddings and hit that 6-figure goal is my goal for next year. And right now I'm 70%. So I actually raised my pricing this morning after our mastermind class last night. So
and you booked a wedding for the new pricing?
Yes, this morning.
My friend.
That is...
Yes, I got on a call with them. We went over everything. They ended up, thank you. They ended up booking 8 hours of coverage, 2 shooters, adding on a couple add-on options. And what my favorite part was, we'll probably add on more as we get closer to the wedding or, once the wedding is over.
So my question to you is like, and again, I don't want this to be like, the reason that we're having this conversation is because we know there are other people just like you that this will be their story if they invest into themselves.
Definitely.
Where do you think you would be if you hadn't made the decision to invest into yourself with this kind of education?
I think I would still be taking on every wedding that booked, which was it was too much and it was hard. And I got to the point where I sat down and actually looked at my husband. I said, this isn't what I want to do. These aren't the films that I want to make, but these are the weddings I keep getting. And I didn't know how to fix that until I took the course. And I also feel like I would still be giving a lot more for much less. And I wouldn't be increasing, to be honest with you. Like I think in my first 2 years, I only increased my price by like $100 or something like that, like the following year. And so I feel like this has really taught me, like I said, the business side, but as well as the client side as well. I would not be getting to know my clients how I am now. I would probably still be going through that, okay, you booked, you paid deposit, I'll talk to you the month of the wedding. And whatever timeline I might get is what I'm going to run with, instead of taking the time to do like a 6-month consultation and sit down and go over what other add-on options they do want or do need. Or, hey, you guys are going to do interviews and letters. Let's change this timeline up a little bit so that we have the time to do that. Just doing stuff like that has given a completely different experience on the day and to my couples. And, I don't say yes to everybody anymore. I actually had a call, I think it was Sunday, and we just were not a good fit. The couple, their like goal was to make sure that every face there was documented. They just wanted like a long document film of like every guest in the room. And like 3 years ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. Like, no problem. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm not the best fit for you. Let me send you a couple names of some people who might be more up that alley. This isn't what I do. And so that right there is just like, I know who I am, what I want to do, and where I want my company to go from here. And before I had the course and before I had how to film weddings and all that did not exist in my brand at all.
I love hearing that. Yeah. Whenever we started the brand, Nick, I just remember we did this out of a want to help people do what Kailina is doing. And it's like, I get a little choked up or, thinking about Nick and I are on, like a computer talking to each other all the time, but there are real people that are having real life impact from the things that we're helping with. And it's always such a great refresher just to see, I mean, we know you now. You are in our mastermind group. You're doing things, you're investing into you, watching you grow, seeing you win in life, seeing your confidence level just go you're so confident in your brand, watching your films get better, your branding, just the scarcity around your brand, and people, you're able to get to these bigger numbers, and like just watching you not even 4 years into your business. This is what this is all about. Like people saving time on the learning curve for wherever it is that there might be a hole in your business, where you're shooting, you're editing. That's the whole idea of it being called the Complete Wedding Videography Course is, yeah, you might be better in business, but you might need some help with your shooting. So we walk through the entire day of how to shoot a wedding, or your editing. Nick is editing a full film so you can watch how he's doing it and saving you time there. And those saved hours equal saved dollars, keep you excited to be doing what you're doing. And you can, like Kailina is taking on the clients that she wants, getting paid what she wants, and not being overwhelmed with crazy backlog and crazy, like she's able to live the life on her terms. So gets me so excited.
And something that I want to point out as she was talking, she was like, yeah, before I, did this, she was making like $45,000 a year. And since this course, she has literally doubled her income. Like literally doubled her income. And that's and is that going to be everyone's story? No, probably not going to be everyone's story. But if you take the things that we share and you implement that, like things can happen and things can change and impact your life. Like how many of you would take a 50% raise or a 25% raise, or whatever, you put it in that context, and this is really, really huge. So Kailina, it has been awesome having you. If there's anyone that wants to follow you on your journey, where can people, find you and follow you along?
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's just Roots and Wings Films, and it's just at roots.andwings.films. There's actually another Roots and Wings company that does like catering in another state, so had to throw some dots in there. And then my website is just rootsandwingsproduction.com.
Okay, well,
I love it.
Yes. It has been awesome to just connect with you more and talk with you more. So thank you so much for taking the time and just sharing your experience with the course and, letting our community know about it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. You guys are a blessing to the industry, and that feels like the biggest understatement in the world.
I'll receive it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kidding. I'm a words of affirmation guy. You know how I am. No, thank you guys. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. Please follow Kailina and watch her journey, look at her films, and thanks so much again for being on.
Hi, it's Michael from Wedditor. We want to thank everyone for the incredible support we've received since sponsoring How to Film Weddings. Yes, we've had some growing pains, but we've had far more wins. And we're doing something that's never been done. We're a remote team of over 50 editors in 10 countries. I often joke that we're as much a logistics company as we are a creative company. Right now, demand is off the charts. And we don't just say yes to everyone and scramble to figure it out. That's why we're asking you to help us help more of you. In short, we're looking for more talented Wedditors. Part-time or full-time, work from where you want, when you want, as long as you hit deadlines and deliver quality. It's a chance to get paid while growing as an editor. Our project managers work with you, explaining why something feels right or doesn't, because there's always a reason. If you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Go to wedditor.com/editor and fill out our form.
Finding the perfect song for your wedding film can be so frustrating. We spend countless hours searching for the perfect song. When it comes to licensing music, Nick and I both love MusicBed. Not only do they have the best music, but their website makes it so easy to find the perfect song and to find it fast. We have both been using the MusicBed's wedding subscription for years and cannot recommend it enough. Not only are they adding new music from incredible musicians like Chapters, The Light, The Heat, and Tony Anderson all the time, they've made it incredibly easy to search their library for mood, genre, instrumentation, and even key. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed and use promo code HTFW for a free month of a MusicBed wedding subscription. howtofilmweddings.com/musicbed.
So much good information from Kailina. Thank you for coming on the podcast. And now our friend Aaron from Two Arrow Films, he's based in South Carolina, close to Savannah, Georgia area. He came on and talked to us about his experience with the Complete Wedding Videography course. Aaron, thank you so much for hopping on the How to Film Weddings podcast today. And we're going to talk all about your experience with the Complete Wedding Videography course. But before we dive into that, why don't you just share a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you're located, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. So my name is Aaron. We, along with my wife, Yancy, we run Two Arrow Films. We're located here in South Carolina, super close to Savannah, Georgia, but South Carolina. A little bit about us. We've been doing this for 3 years, almost to the date, which is pretty incredible. And it started with just video. I decided I wanted to just pick it up and see what we could do with it. And it just kind of evolved to where we're at now, which is just doing photo and film with my wife, having the time with the kids here at home, and then just being able to do a lot of different things that I couldn't have thought possible 3 years ago.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And you are a part of our mastermind as well. And so we've actually gotten to spend some time, getting to know you, hanging out with you. John has had more time with you, I think, in a certain way. Maybe I'll let John tell that story in a little bit later. But that wasn't
Yes,
weird.
right?
You guys are just going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait for that story because it's a good one. We'll let it come up naturally after I talk about it. We'll let it come up naturally.
So, we'll figure out a way.
You guys are the worst.
You say that you've been in the business for about 3 years now, like almost exactly. You purchased the Complete Wedding Videography course. Was it earlier this year that you purchased it? Was it last year? Do you remember?
I think it was last year, like middle of last year.
Okay. Probably our second launch whenever we did that last year then.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you talk for a second, maybe where you were in a business before you purchased that and then after kind of going through some of the modules and going through some of the stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, I think I kind of had the initial, just learning curve of this is how do you do this? How do you do that? And there was a lot of, just going to YouTube and asking people all of these things. And it was just so time consuming after a while. And I sat down with Yancy and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? It'll, just catapult our business and our knowledge and our skills to the next level if we do it now, so that we don't have to wait. Because and it did. And going through just some of the modules in the course, it's been game changer. Being able to see the things that you guys have done, learn from the mistakes that you guys have made, and learn from the successes that you guys have had as well. It's a huge, huge deal. I really honestly don't think we would be here right now charging what we're charging, doing everything that we're doing without that course. And it really did expedite our learning a couple years.
So when you this time last year or middle of last year, what were you charging for your wedding films before you said yes to the course? What did it look like for your what you were charging? Maybe just paint a picture of where your business was at.
I can actually tell you exactly where we fall into how much we were charging. We did it the first two for free. The second one, it was $300. Third wedding was $800. I was like, oh my gosh, $800. What the heck? Who's paying me this, right? And then yes, for real, I was like, man, $800. So then we started charging, I believe, I think it was 15 and 18. And then in the middle of last year, we were before we purchased the course, we were charging I think 2800 was like our top collection package back then, but 2800. And I was like, how, like, I feel like I've hit my limit. Like, we feel like that's it. Like, how could somebody pay more? But I also knew, like, there has to be something else out there that will allow us to charge more. So investing in this course really allowed us to just do that. And now we're at the point where we're charging $5,900 starting, which is insane, right? Like, and there's times where I'm like, man, like, how could this happen? And I, like, this October, actually, like a few weeks back, we booked our highest collection at 8,000 just for film, which is like insane.
That's awesome.
But all of it was just because we decided to invest in our learning, invest in our education, invest in people like you guys in a community that is going to help us just like move that forward.
That's awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That gets me amped up to hear that.
Oh my
And since I've shared a bed with you
There
in
it
the
is.
past, like
Yes.
that's my natural transition into sharing a bed one time with you when I was in Charleston for like 5 minutes. That didn't sound right. Anyway, I guess you just
both
had
were.
to be there.
Oh my God.
But
I'm not
is he
red.
red? Yeah,
I'm
we're all red. I'm red. Good. We're good. No. Oh yeah, you feel great. So here you were, a year and 3 months, a year and a half ago, 2,500, 2,800, and you and your wife are sitting there saying, should we invest into these two yahoos course? I see John and Nick in the podcast. I see what advice, I guess, like what made you say yes to the course? And did it meet your expectations when it comes to like, we get the question a lot, like, well, why wouldn't I just listen to your podcast? Or why wouldn't, like, I can get all that stuff on YouTube. So, like, what made you guys say yes? And then kind of maybe walk us through your experience with how how the course hit you.
Yeah,
Was it different
sure.
than the podcast? And that?
I'm a huge believer in just investing and like risking to get to the place where I want to be as quickly as possible, right? And just like I said before, if we wouldn't have done this, we wouldn't have been where we are now. And for anybody who's thinking of like this whole course, like, well, you could find so many of these things somewhere else, and that's true. But the really cool thing about this course is like it's all in one place. It's all ready to access and like just super quick, right? You just go to the website and start just going through the modules and see everything that you want to see. Whereas if you spend your time on YouTube, that's time that you're wasting. That's money that's literally just like you're wasting time and money. And the other thing is I love the calls that you guys do. That's huge. Being able to see like real interactions with the couples, with parents, groom, bride, whatever, that's priceless. Because at that point we get to come alongside, literally right there in the room, and see everything that you guys are doing. And there's no, it's not staged. It's real, authentic, and this is the real process that you guys have for this. It doesn't, and honestly, I can't remember the price of the course, but if you invest in that course at that price, you're going to create room for yourself to charge more because of everything that you've learned. There's no, if you're worried about going backwards with this, you can't. Like you can only learn more, right? So even if I watch somebody else like do the same thing, I'm gonna learn something new. And with this course, I've learned something new every single time because I have my own process. I have the way that I do it, but then you guys have that same way, and I get to learn and pick up little things that I can apply to my own process. So who to those people who are watching and saying, hey, well, I don't know what if I want to invest in this course, you should and you need to, because it's only going to push you. And it does push you because at that point you're investing money into something to grow, right? So definitely get it. It's worth every single penny, and it'll push you to get out of your comfort zone at the same time.
Yeah, thank you. That's so cool for you to say that stuff about the course. And so the question that we see a lot, is who would you say, in your opinion, as someone that has gone through it, who would you say this course is for? Like who would you recommend pick this up?
Oh man, anybody. If you're just starting, get the course. Like it's gonna just push you. It's gonna advance you to the next level really quick. Even if you've been doing this for a while and you're like, man, I know everything. My process is good. I have nothing else to learn. If that's your mindset, then you've hit a cap of learning. And if you can't open up to like, hey, I can learn something from Nick and John in the course, you're gonna start to grow. And it might not be as like exponentially like somebody who just started, but you'll still learn. You'll still get something out of it, no matter your experience or how long you've been doing this. Like I still look back into those modules, and there's always something new.
Yeah, I like even like I was saying it with Kailina earlier, but like, and you just mentioned it, and most people think that this is content that is stale. And, people are like, well, you've released this before. Why are you opening it up again? And when Nick and I started the idea of putting out a course, it was like we wanted something that was the handbook for wedding filmmakers that continually had new, addendums or amendments added to it or changed, and we would just walk through the basics and then next level when it comes to business, shooting, and editing. And they're in the course. There's a full behind the scenes of me at a wedding. We just added a second full behind the scenes of me at a wedding. Nick behind the scenes at a wedding. Nick editing a wedding. But then what you mentioned, which I think is if all the course was recorded phone calls of us working with our clients. So whenever I do a call with a couple, I record it via Zoom. I ask for their permission. But I'm uploading those to the course, and that is something that, like this week I uploaded one, and you can jump on there and for 20 minutes just watch how we're doing what we're doing, and I'm showing you when I'm doing it right, what I'm doing wrong. You can take things from it. And so that is like, if I were looking, the question that Nick is asking is like, who is it for? Well, of course, if you don't have much experience at all, you're going to get crazy amount out of this. Like it's the whole handbook that both Nick and I have done. But the thing you said about if you're not willing to continually invest into your education, and this is something that I was a bonehead about for a long time. I didn't think I needed education. I didn't think it was worth it to spend money on things. I thought people that had courses were crooks and they were just trying to like make money off of me. And then I bought my first course and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to save me years of time. And so you mentioned it. You said you just booked an $8,000. Is that right? $8,000 package in your third year of business. I kind of hate you a little bit. Not a lot bit, but I think I was in my like 10th or 11th year of business whenever I first booked my $8,000 package. And I know things have changed and cameras are better and people care more about wedding films, but the point being is I think this is for somebody that wants to continually invest into themselves, to be a part of a community that is always growing with each other. And so my next question, I guess, for you would be like, if somebody is on the fence about it, like considering it, like what is your main advice for them?
Yeah.
I know that we asked something similar, but like if someone's on the fence, like this is like, oh, maybe now that their ears have perked up a little bit or whatever, like what does it mean to you to be part of this?
Actually,
like,
I'm going to talk about something that's probably a little bit or super important to what you guys offer as well. And that's the community. If you're in the fence of just like, hey, like is this just going to be a course where I get to sit and watch? Yes, but there's also that support behind that. And I love that. Because we can ask questions, we can be real and authentic. Like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what's going on. And there's a community behind all of that. And I love that. Being able to just jump on and just say, hey guys, like, you know, this is what we're dealing with. Like, what do you suggest? And it's real people, and it's you guys. And I think that's probably the most important after buying that course and jumping on board with that.
It is really good. Yeah, thank you. Aaron, you know, you've talked about growing your business, you and your wife, and you know, you've added photography, and you're just like, you know, only 3 years in, you're already charging $8,000. You know, who knows what it's going to be in year, 5, 8, 10, you know, for you guys, you know, where you're going to go. But if anyone wants to follow, you know, you guys on your journey of you know, filmmaking and photography and stuff, where can they follow you? Where can people find you?
Yeah. So you guys can find us at 2 Arrow Films on Instagram. That's probably going to be the best. Yancy does incredible behind the scenes and stuff all over that. So that's all her, by the way. But yeah, that would be the best way, because Facebook is not my thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I just will have to say, I've watched 2 Arrow Films, like the transformation over the last year and a half, doing mentor sessions with you, and you know, you're in our mastermind group, and just watching your branding shift and your mindset shift and your confidence shift, like those things, those intangible things. It's really cool to watch, and just to see you be like, oh, I can do this. I can be like an industry leader doing this kind of thing. And so congrats to you on the success. Like, we only can see good things in your future. Hopefully I won't have to share a bed with you anymore.
Though
it's whatever. And I'm not guaranteeing if you buy the course, you do not get to share a bed with me.
I do promise that if you buy the course and I'm in the same town as you, and we go to a rooftop bar with a slide, I will ride down that slide with you, because I did that with Yancy.
That is taking place of our money back guarantee on the course. That's
oh my
smart.
gosh.
That's a smart move.
Well, Aaron, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience.
But thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Kailina, Aaron, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and talking about the Complete Wedding Videography course. If you are at all interested in this course and changing your business and potentially doubling your income, not just your prices, doubling your income like Kailina did, head over to CompleteWeddingVideography.com. There you can sign up for not one, but 2 free sections of the course and our wedding day questionnaire. You can get all of that for free, no strings attached, anything at all. So go over to CompleteWeddingVideography.com to sign up for that. John, as always, it has been great to hang out with you. Thank you so much, listeners, for taking the time to hang out with us today. And until next time, we will see you.
Are you looking for a better way to deliver your wedding films to your couples? Look no further. Our friends over at WedFlow provide the most flexible video delivery solution on the market. WedFlow is pay per project with no large upfront cost or commitment, and you can cancel anytime. Not only that, WedFlow offers a premium viewing experience for your couples, accessible on mobile, tablet, desktop, as well as their very own suite of TV apps. Each project comes with 10 years hosting and an experience for your clients that will blow them away. Stop delivering your films the old-fashioned way and give your couples something to rave about. Head on over to howtofilmweddings.com/WedFlow to check out WedFlow today.